Please take any available seat. Good afternoon. I'm Andy Maxwell, and it's my pleasure to be serving as your Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. Thank you all for coming for this wonderful celebration and the swearing in of our newly elected Syracuse City Mayor, Mr. Alexander Marion. First, I want to acknowledge, with respect, the Onondaga Nation, fire keepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral lands the Southwest Community Center and City of Syracuse now stand. I want to offer some special thanks, first to our hosts here at the Southwest Community Center. Thank you for having us. The city staff who made this possible. Our bagpipers, of course, Paul and Andrew Sheedy. Let's give them another round of applause. I also want to thank the Onondaga Historical Association and the staff of the Syracuse Department of Art. Kyle Madden, Michael Guckert, and Debbie Summers. Let's give that team a round of applause. And I want to thank all our guests in attendance who've traveled here from far and wide to be here today. Thank you so much. Elected officials, I want to acknowledge the several elected officials we have in attendance here. I'm going to do my best. Mayor Ben Walsh, Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens. Thank you. City Councilors, Chol Majoke, Rita Peniagua, Marty Nabe. I don't have a list here. Please wave your hands. This is Marty Masterpole, County Controller. Thank you, Marty. Who am I missing?
Joe and Diane.
Oh, Joe's here. Diane's here. Oh, so many judges. Thank you, and of course, DeJoseph. Thank you all for being here. Apologies if I've forgotten anyone. It's quite a rogues gallery here. First, just a quick point of privilege as MC. I'm going to introduce a few folks to say, provide some remarks here today, but quickly just like to say what a privilege it is to be standing here with you today, Alex. It's been quite a journey. I had the honor of working at City Hall in Syracuse for about 10 years. 5 of those years I had the pleasure of working with Alex in the mayor's office. And even though I've known Alex for about 15 years, those 5 years working together in the mayor's office, we really got to know each other much better and became close friends. And I learned a lot about Alex in that time, and certainly he and I have a lot in common. I think we share a lot as it relates to public service in the sense of passion and duty about what it means to be a public servant and a public official. I also learned that Alex is a really unique individual too. He's got a unique style, a unique way about him, and you know, he's someone who is always learning, always absorbing different things from different parts of life. If you know him, you also know he's sort of an old soul. And he's always pulling different things from different times. I have to say, I don't know anyone else who in conversation would draw from the wisdom of both the Federalist Papers and the Golden Girls. Pretty impressive stuff. I remember one conversation where I think in one sentence he quoted both Taylor Swift and Franklin Roosevelt. That's the uniqueness of Alex right there. And honestly, I think that's a big part of how Alex relates to so many people. People of different ages, different backgrounds, different perspectives, and I think that's a big part of why we're here today. So first, I'd like to welcome Mr. Larry Williams, our gracious host for today, Executive Director of Syracuse Community Connections and the Southwest Community Center. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Andrew. Greatly appreciated. Congratulations, Mr. Marion, and welcome. Welcome to all. We call this the epicenter here at Southwest Community Center, Syracuse Community Connections, Syracuse Models Neighborhood Facilities Incorporated. All three of those, most of you know this, aptly know this as the West, Southwest Community Center, but welcome today. It's a wonderful opportunity. When Mr. Marion called about a couple of weeks ago and said, would you mind if we did our public swearing-in ceremony here? I was like, are you asking for permission? I said, absolutely, we'd love to have it, love to have you, and so thank you for considering. So again, welcome on this great occasion. It's great to see everyone here on a Saturday. Enjoy. Just know that we've got some wonderful things that we think are going to be happening within the next year. A $240,000 kitchen renovation, thanks to our partners with the Syracuse City. And we look forward to, hopefully within the next year, starting our wonderful DRI project, which was going to be a $1.15 million renovation of our gym, and particularly it's going to give us a brand new facade. So we look forward to those changes in an institution that really represents a lot in this community over the past 50 some odd years. And so we want to share that with you, share this day with you. Thanks again, Mr. Marion, for all the days that you've helped me and those working with Janet, helping us to make sure that we did our fiduciary and the programmatic responsibilities on the SOI grant way back when. So again, welcome, enjoy. And Andrew didn't say it, but bathrooms are right there to the front, and the codes are on the door in case you have to go. Welcome and enjoy the afternoon.
Thank you, Larry. At this time, I'd like to welcome up Andre Young, Deacon in Training with New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, to provide our invocation.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great honor to be able to stand here in front of you all and be able to give this invocation to Alex Hampton. Thank you for being the person that you are, and we thank God for having you. Dear God, please watch over everyone that's here. Give them blessings and keep them in the palm of your hand. Let them be the guidance that you choose for them to be. Let them be able to walk in your footsteps, dear God, and serve the people as they need to be served. Dear God, we ask that you watch over each and every one of these people here, the young, the old, the ones that's wanted to be here and couldn't be here. We ask that you give us guidance, preparation, and deliverance, dear God, in this time of need. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome the Majoke family children to come up and lead our Pledge of Allegiance. Please welcome Gab, Majoke, Akau, and Yar to lead us in the pledge.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome Mary Traynor, housing advocate and public interest attorney, to make some remarks. Mary?
Thank you. First thing I want to say is, Alex, thank you. Thank you so much for having the vision of how you can make things better for everybody in Syracuse. I know that you're going to bring a modern, engaged, expanded view, as Andy described, to the role that you can play in the lives of everyone in our wonderful city. Today's the swearing in, but Alex issued his first report last Thursday. And so first analysis of how Syracuse is affected by the state's aid to municipalities, which is a huge thing. So thank you. Can't wait until you actually get to work. As I was introduced as a housing advocate, and that's how I met Alex. And what I have seen in the last 5 years, say, is the effect of many policies and established ways of doing government in Syracuse is to kind of sort people into two categories, right? There are people who matter, and there are people who don't matter. People who make decisions, and there are people who just are the subject of those decisions. Alex isn't going to do that. He ran for office because I'm sure you've seen that in Albany, and you know that that's wrong. You know that he knows everyone matters. Everyone, has an opinion. Everyone is a, quote, stakeholder. And Alex knows everyone here deserves to have a government that's accountable, right? Accountability is a good word. It's not a bad word. It's a reality check, really. It's not just the numbers, but it's looking at the gap between what's supposed to happen. We all have aspirations, we have laws, we have ideals, and then there's what actually happens, because we have funding, and we have staffing, and we have snow, and we have reality. It's called reality. But the problem is the people who traditionally don't matter are the ones who are hurt the most by that gap. Just one example, because I'm going to keep it short. All the money, time, and attention that people in the city spend on trying to stop children from being poisoned by lead in their homes. And yet, every year, 600 kids are poisoned. I think an auditor could look at that, not to point the finger, but to do a reality check. On the city's website, they have posted all the audits done from 2004 to 2023. Code enforcement's not been audited. I think an audit would help them. It might show that they're understaffed. It might show they need better training. It might, by looking at where the money comes and goes, I think you can see is what you're supposed to be doing, is that really what's happening? And if not, why not? The auditor cuts across all agencies and all government departments without fear or favor, as they say, like a good journalist. The job, people go to work, like code inspectors, they work really hard. They work every day they go to work, but they're confronted by what's on their plate for that day. The auditor can take a step back and take the time and have the expertise and have the staff and have the mission to look at what is actually happening. Is what people are doing working? And that would, we gave him, one thing when I was reading the past audits, I was shocked to see that the auditor had asked for reports and forms and stuff from all the agencies so they could see what happened, and people just didn't respond, right? Very frustrating. We gave Alex subpoena power, and I trust him with that, and I know he's going to use it, and I'm very excited. It means we're serious about it. So, again, I want to close by thanking you. It's hard running for office, winning, and then doing the job. Thankless sometimes, but I'm sure you're going to do a good job. And just know that you have a lot of friends and supporters who wish you the best.
Thank Mary. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Mo Brown, my friend and newly elected county legislator. Mo is an Army veteran. He was first elected alongside Alex in 2023 to represent the 15th District. Mo.
Thank you all. Alex, sorry, I just got to do it because it's bothering me. There are seats available. If anybody wants to sit, like a lot of these reserved seats are for folks who couldn't make it. I've had to stand in the back at one of these actually, so I was events before, so I do know these can go long. So if anybody does want to come up, this would be a great time too. I'm going to be that guy and offer up the seats. If no one wants to, you don't have to, but there are several seats available. You are standing by choice. Just let the record show that. At this moment, you are choosing that, and you have that prerogative. But no, Alex, what can I say? Wow. So I wrote my stuff down because this is overwhelming for me, but I'm very thankful that, Alex chose me to speak here, and Alex just gives me such a breath of hope. Like, I've never had hope like how Alex gives me. So I'll go to where it started. So I met Alex in 2017 or so. Alex knows this, but he was the guy that works at City Hall. You know that guy. You know that guy that works at City Hall. That was Alex at the time. And at the time, that was pretty much what he was. He was young, he was knowledgeable, he really wanted to help. And I appreciated that, because at the time, that fit me. And I was like, wow, there's other people who give a crap what's going on in this community, and they want to help. And for me, that was enough. But in 2018, he did what a lot of the guys at City Hall did, but a lot of young people did, and it hurt me, and he knows this too, but he left to take a great job somewhere else. I always hated that. I get it, let's be clear, but I was really disappointed as a city, as a community, that we couldn't find somewhere for one of our best talents to help us. I really saw that as, a disappointment in us, and 5 years later, Alex came and changed that, and I am so thankful. I watched Alex do great work from afar. So Alex worked at the Senate, and I'm someone who's, lobbying the state to change many things. And I've had conversations with Zach and Anna Kellis in Ithaca, and folks would tell me about the great work that Alex and the rest of, Senator Gianaris' office would do. And it felt good to know that we had someone on the inside, like we had an insider, we had a voice in those big conversations, because that's what Alex was. Fast forward, early 2023, late 2022 even, actually, yeah. I ran into Alex at the Fitz, of all places. I don't know if you all know where the Fitz is, but it's below Oh My Darling. Yep. Oh, yeah. And it's where the young people hang out. It's where cool kids hang out. So you're going to be a cool kid. So yeah, if you've been there, you're officially a cool kid. I don't make the rules. But no. When I saw Alex, I was just simply happy that he was back. I was just like, we have Alex back. This is great news. I was excited because the work that needs to be done here, so many people are needed to do it. And I was just glad to have another person back pulling the rope. Then he explained to me that he was running for auditor. And at first, I was like, why auditor? What's the auditor do? This is a weird office to run for. Maybe you should think of, city council or something like that. But no, then he started explaining the intricacies of how the auditor is able to, look into the departments that serve our community. Like codes enforcement, like public safety, like marketing, like codes enforcement, like strategic initiatives and codes enforcement. And he went over all of the different departments. He probably didn't say it like that, but that's what I heard. That's the story I'm going with. But he really explained to me how when you go into the weeds, when you look into the details, you are able to improve our community. And those little steps, those inches, those little bits, they add up over time, and I'm glad that we're going to have Alex as someone, adding it up. The fact that he wanted to run for auditor told me what I need. It's someone who's creative enough, smart enough, who understands the issues. It's not just about running for the highest glory seat. It's about getting to the work that needs to be done, and that's what he wanted to do. So I knew he was smart enough and creative enough. I was on the fence. What I wasn't sure is if he would do the work. You never know. You never know. A lot of folks who I really trust vouched for Alex. I did my homework, I asked around. My folks in Ithaca, I asked my folks here, I'll shout out Zach. I asked people that knew your work, and they vouched for your work, and they said, if nothing else, Alex is gonna do the work, and boy did he do the work. Yep. He was able to win his election fairly comfortably, and that was a testament to his work. I am usually not in favor of primaries. I know you guys don't believe this. but I like primaries because your work ethic matters. If you're willing to put the work in, you have a fair shot in a primary, and he put the work in, and it showed me all that I needed to know. Alex is someone who's going to work for our city. Alex is someone who's going to go that extra mile. He's going to take that extra step. And the true moment that I knew Alex was the person for the job was actually after the primary, when Alex asked to meet with me after we had both just had months-long primaries that were super exhausting. He asked me what's next, and I told him I was taking a vacation in the Finger Lakes because that's what I thought he wanted to talk about. But he wanted to talk about how we can help Emily and Diane and all of the other great folks running to improve our community. And I was like, how's this kid not tired? But he was able to guilt me into helping folks too. And I'm glad he did, because I do think at the end it paid off. Alex, congratulations. I think you're going to do great things in this community. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're back. Someone who understands this moment and is not willing, not afraid to stand up for it. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Mo. Next, I'd like to welcome Emily Essi Bersani. She's the newly elected Onondaga County Clerk. She's a Nottingham High School graduate, is a corporate cougar. I won't hold that against her. Former Peace Corps volunteer in Ukraine, and someone who was first elected alongside Alex in 2023. So come on up, Emily.
Following Mo. He is a great public speaker. So even though I won and I campaigned for so long, I still don't love public speaking. But I feel really honored to be standing here because I still kind of feel like a nobody. I'm brand new to all of this, but Alex has always made me feel like a somebody. So thank you for that. I promise I won't cry. So Alex could have been done with his race in June. He won by a landslide. No, just kidding. He did great. I actually did not know Alex until maybe May. We ran into each other when I was knocking doors in my neighborhood and Alex was knocking doors in my neighborhood. It was recess coffee, and he comes running by with these huge sunglasses, and I was like, who is that? And the gentleman I was with told me who you were, but we still didn't really get to know each other until after the primary, because as Mo mentioned, he did not stop. He absolutely could have been done in June, but he spent his entire summer helping me and helping everybody else on the ticket in a way that my gratitude is just, I have no words. I mean, we won because of the collaboration and the dedication from people like Alex, and Mo and Joe and Diane and Marty, but Alex didn't have to. He could have taken his vacation in the Finger Lakes. Yeah, I wanted to keep this really brief. I didn't really write much down, but I had no idea what I was doing. I actually chickened out from doing a primary, and I was really impressed that he continued to beat the odds. We both had similar situations. We both had really tough races to win, and I think the hard work that we put in really shows what you can do when you get the community activated and behind you. So thank you to everyone here for supporting Alex and also supporting me. Alex really pushed me. He came to to every single event I had. He dragged me to events I didn't want to go to. The week before the election, he was just as busy as all of us candidates. On election day, he woke up at 6 o'clock with me and knocked doors with me. He also didn't really know what to say when I broke down crying on election day and told him I wanted to drop out. Not really sure why I said that, because why did I want to drop out? He didn't really know how to react, but he said, don't quit. And I didn't. We continued to eat spaghetti and knock doors and drop off flyers and drive people to the polls on election day. So it's just a testament to who you are, and my gratitude is just through the roof. But we also have similar stories in that we left Syracuse for a while. And coming back to Syracuse was a big decision, but an easy decision. I believe in this community. I am always inspired when I meet people like Alex, that we're not alone. We want to do what's right for Syracuse and for Onondaga County. Being a city school graduate, you know, who said that? I want to give back and make sure that there are opportunities for years to come as I start to have a family, and just Syracuse is amazing. I've always felt that this community allows us to embrace who we are and our differences, and Alex embodies that, and as city auditor, he's going to continue to provide opportunities for the entire city. And I love you, Alex. I'm going to keep it really, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to stop rambling. But the city is really lucky to have Alex, and I feel very honored to be up here speaking. I really didn't expect it, so anyway, join me in congratulating him.
Thank you, Emily, and congratulations to you as well. Now I'd like to welcome Senator Rachel May. Senator May, since being elected first in 2018, has been a great partner to this community and a good friend. Senator?
I'm going to echo Emily and saying I'm sorry to go after Mo. I had the same conversation with Alex. He came to me and said, I want to run for city auditor, and I was like, what does a city auditor even do? And I asked him that question, and he said, exactly. I want to make sure that people understand that the city auditor can be a role that really makes a difference. And his entire campaign was explaining, not just to me, but to everybody, what the city auditor does and can do, and why this does make a difference. And so I want to honor you, Alex, not just for running a great race and stepping up to the plate to do this, but also using it as an opportunity to really help citizens understand what all the different roles in city government are about. And I think that's a really just educating people about the whole democratic process is really important. But also, you've already started showing that the city auditor can make a difference. I was at the press conference on Thursday about Alex's AIM Hire report. AIM funding is always a massive topic at this time of year. The mayor, every county executive, every town supervisor is coming to my office and saying, we need more AIM funding. It hasn't been raised since 2009, am I right, Mayor? Something like that. It's been about 15 years since there's been any increase in AIM funding, and AIM funding is critical to our communities, large and small. But Alex, having experience in Albany as well as in Syracuse, recognizes that if you just keep coming every year and saying we need more AIM funding, it's obviously not working. That has not succeeded. So we need to frame this differently. And Alex's approach was to create a formula that says we need more AIM funding specifically because these are the kinds of struggles that communities are facing. And if you have a formula that's targeted, maybe, who knows, we will try, maybe the governor will finally bite and say, yes, this is a good idea to raise AIM funding because of these specific needs in areas of housing and infrastructure, and cities like Syracuse that have so much of their land that's off the tax rolls, and they just can't raise the money through more property taxes. So, it's one of the ways that Alex is bending the curve of changing the way we are thinking about data, thinking about how we marshal that kind of information to try to make a difference. And I cannot even remotely guarantee that this will change things this year, but I think, it's going to change the conversation over time, and my hope is it's really going to make a difference in the long term. I also, as soon as Alex started talking about running, I started thinking, oh, what could a city auditor do for me? And I chair the committee on all the cities in the state smaller than New York City. And I'm really interested in issues of concentrated poverty, issues of how our cities are not working and for the people who live there and how they could work better. And one of the issues we talked about was how fines and fees may be hitting different neighborhoods and different communities harder than others. And can we look at that whole system, that whole ecosystem of how penalties are assessed, and see if there are smarter ways to do it that aren't increasing poverty, that aren't driving people into bankruptcy, aren't creating more problems than they might be aiming to solve. So he's gotten me thinking creatively about how can we work together to really generate the kind of information that I need in order to move my job forward as well. So I'm really excited to be working side by side with Alex. I think he's going to make a difference here in Syracuse. I think he's going to help me make a difference elsewhere in the state as well as here, and I just couldn't be more glad to have you in this role and to have been able to be side by side with you in part as you were running, but also now as you start to really realize your dream here. So congratulations.
Thank you, Senator. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. I'll ask Alex, Mr. Dave Kirby, and Onondaga County Family Court Judge Christina DeJoseph for the swearing-in.
Can I say something? It is my distinct honor and privilege to administer the oath of office to my very dear friend, Legislator Marion. This is perfect for you. This whole event is so you. And when you saw me as we were walking up, I know how to make an entrance. I said, yeah, you do. I'm just kind of walking behind you. We both have family histories that are steeped in public service, and I want to sort of emphasize the service aspect of that. We work for you. We work for the public. It is an honor and it is a privilege, and don't ever forget that. And let me pass on one little piece of advice that my dad gave to me, who was also, he's a retired judge now, but he said to me, Christy, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. What does that tell you? And I said, what? What does that tell me? He said, you should listen twice as much as you speak. And I think that was his kind way of telling me to cut it short. But it is good advice for me in the job that I do, and I think it's good advice for you in the job that you've just started, and I think you're a perfect fit for that. So without further ado, let's do this.
Legislator Marion,
promise to faithfully uphold
the
the Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of City Auditor
the duties of the office of City Auditor
for the City of
for
Syracuse
the City of Syracuse
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
That's it.
Thank you so much. Some of you thought there wouldn't be bagpipes. There will always be bagpipes. Thank you so much, Judge DeJoseph, Larry, Andre, Andrew Maxwell, Dave, Mo, Mary, Rachel, Emily. Thank you all so much for being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, and my friends who proudly reject the gender binary, thank you for joining us. As my grandmother's dear friend, the late, great Judge Rosemary Pooler used to say, swearings in are like weddings. You have to do the civil and then the religious. On January 2nd, I did my civil at City Hall with our wonderful city clerk, Patricia McBride, and today, here at the Church of the Southwest Community Center, we do the religious to make it official. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the team that made all of this possible, the incredible staff of the City of Syracuse Department of Audit. That's Kyle Madden, Mike Gugert, and Debbie Summers. Please stand and recognize them. I especially want to thank Alicia Madden for letting Kyle come back to City Hall. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without that incredible team, and I'm so excited for the work yet to come. I also wouldn't be here without a number of people, of course many of you here in this room, but first and foremost I have to thank my grandparents, Henry and Nancy Pollock, who brought me into the world of politics and taught me how to do public service. Well, they're not here today. They gave me the greatest gift I could ask for. Also, my mother, Maureen Pollock Marion, the woman who influenced my vision of Syracuse. She taught me that government can and should deliver for the people it serves. I know she's with us here today. Her legacy will live on in the work that we do because that work is inspired by her love of this city and our people. I also want to acknowledge a few trailblazers. Marcia Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Harvey Milk, Earl Colvin, and many more with names unknown, but without whom me standing up here today would not be possible. And also, I'd like to offer my heartfelt thanks to the Southwest Community Center, the City Hall Building Services staff, and the Onondaga Historical Association for their assistance today. I just took the oath of office, not on a family Bible or heirloom, but on something very precious to the city of Syracuse. It is an 1859 first edition copy of the autobiography of the Reverend Jermain Loguen, lent to me today by the Onondaga Historical Association. Reverend Loguen, as many of you know, escaped slavery to begin a new life here in Syracuse. When Reverend Loguen first came to Syracuse in 1841, he wrote that our city was not the welcoming place that we think of it as today. In fact, when a local anti-slavery society sought to form, local elements opposed to abolition tried to disrupt their convention and force them to organize in secret. As Reverend Loguen began his second chance at life here in Syracuse, his adopted community, he answered his call to ministry. He became a celebrated leader in abolition. He participated in the Jerry Rescue, and he ensured countless people seeking freedom had safe passage north. He raised a family that included his daughter, Sarah Logan Frazier, the first African-American woman to be a licensed medical doctor in the United States. Reverend Loguen had the courage to lead his community to a brighter future because he had a vision for what Syracuse could become. a city of second chances. That example, creating second chances through courage, permeates through our community's history and is at the core of who we are today. Let me tell you the story of Helen, a young woman from Poland who came to this country in the early 1900s. She was just a teenager who could neither read nor write and was sent to meet her sister who came a few years prior. Leaving your home, your family, the entire life you've ever known, never to go back as a teenager, that takes courage. Helen found her second chance. She took a job changing linens in the Yates Hotel in downtown Syracuse. It was tough work, but she was surrounded by camaraderie, young immigrant women who experienced the same life journey she did. A few years went by, she married, had a family, bought a house, and spent the rest of her long life right here in central New York. She found her second chance right here in Syracuse. Helen's story has an epilogue. The Yates Hotel, for those keeping track, stood at the corner of East Washington and Montgomery Streets in downtown Syracuse. While the once grand building is no longer there, its neighbor, City Hall, still stands. And now every day, her great-grandson gets to walk in the front door as city auditor and serve the community that gave Helen her second chance. While Helen Pollock's story is special to me, it is hardly unique for our community. In fact, we're joined here today by a number of people who had the courage to find their second chances here in Syracuse. Our Pledge of Allegiance was done excellently by several children of the Majoke family. Thank you very much. Their father, City Council member Chol Majoke, is one of the Sudanese lost boys who found his new home here in Syracuse and has had an exemplary career in public service. We're joined by his colleague, Councilor Rita Paniagua, whose own journey led her here from Puerto Rico. She served as a leader in this community for decades. And I know others here today have had the courage to find their second chances in Syracuse. People from across the world, places like Pakistan, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, Latin America, Europe, and Africa. People have come from across the country or just come from suburbs across our region. As a city, we need to put that courage to work to create more second chances for our community. That's what we're doing right now in the City Auditor's Office. We're growing our team, we're expanding our perspective, and we are finding our own second chance to deliver for the people of Syracuse. And we remain committed to providing strong oversight of the decisions the city makes today and useful insight into the decisions the city will make tomorrow. And we will do all of this with a new spirit of collaboration and determination to deliver. And for that, I thank Mayor Walsh, Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens, and their incredible team. I see Corey Driscoll in the back, who's been on speed dial in the last 2 weeks. So I thank you all for that spirit of collaboration. Already, we've released our first report, Aim Higher, analyzing the impact of state aim funding on the city of Syracuse. In there, we lay out the case for more state aid. I brought a copy in case you haven't read it yet. A decade ago, AIM funding represented 65% of core city services, police, fire, DPW, and water, but it is now just barely over 40%. The cost to provide these essential services has increased 30% in the decade since AIM funding was frozen. That is not profligate spending. That is the basic cost of running a modern city. We unveiled this report Thursday alongside Senator Rachel May. Thank you for joining us twice in 1 week. She's introducing legislation to modernize the AIM formula, focusing on improving infrastructure, building housing, and compensating for state-owned and tax-exempt properties. Working alongside Senator May and our tremendous local state legislators, we'll be fighting for a new path forward for the funding our city needs. I've been asked a lot recently why we've started our journey focusing on external issues instead of just the city's internal operations. The answer is simple. Too often, we're at the mercy of external factors, funding decisions in Albany, policy choices made in Washington, and the economic winds of the private sector. For Syracuse's second chance, we need to find and understand our place in the world. How do we do that? We start by using the power of government to deliver that more perfect union that is at the core of America's promise, right here in Syracuse. We do this in big ways, fighting for equality, prosperity, and democracy. But we do that in small ways too, delivering the services our community needs efficiently, effectively, and consistently, improving our aging infrastructure, preparing for and recovering from severe weather brought about by climate change, and ensuring everyone has a safe, affordable, and warm place to live because housing is a human right. In the City Auditor's Office, that means we will turn our data into advocacy. We will deliver recommendations that yield results. And we will show up, ready to help when the community needs us, listening and turning your ideas into action. I know that last point well. In my first few weeks in office, I've been close to a dozen different community meetings, and I look forward to many, many more where your ideas will guide our work. I'm an optimist about government and about our city. We've come a long way in recent decades. We've built the foundation for the future. We've renewed the promise of Syracuse. We've risen above and kept rising to meet our challenges. We have planted our new flag in our new millennium. Now, as we embark on our second chance moment, let us collectively find that courage to lead. Let us lead with compassion and fortitude. Let us lead with grace and grit, and let us lead fearlessly. That's how people like Reverend Jermain Loguen lived and served. Let us have the courage to give Syracuse the future, that second chance that is worthy of its storied past. Thank you.